Happy Black Friday. Happy Thanksgiving. It's the 28th of November, just after 4 o'clock on Friday. Yes, it is Friday. It doesn't feel like it. It's not a victory Friday. I know that. Perhaps it's a hard truth Friday as you look at your team. 6-6 are the Baltimore Ravens, having lost last night to the Cincinnati Bengals, 32-14 in the first of two within a 3-week stretch. They'll have a mini bye, the Ravens will, between now and, of course, their Pittsburgh game. That'll be a Week 14 matchup, and then they'll see those same Steelers in the regular season finale a month from now. Or what is that? I guess technically January TBD. Actually, Week 18 is TBD right now, as the first couple weeks, or I should say the final 2 weeks are right now, because they're in that TBD flex game zone. Week 17 against Green Bay, Week 18 against Pittsburgh, both of which are on the road for the Ravens. So, look, a lot to get to, including Ryan Clark's commentary on why he feels like the Ravens are cooked. He mentioned that in this morning's Get Up segment. After that, I'm going to share my confidence levels, or perhaps lack thereof, in terms of whether or not Lamar has a chance to turn this thing around, and most importantly, dig himself out of a rut, both physically and, as we saw last night, operationally. Polish was not consistent enough for his liking, as he held himself accountable in his post-game press conference, and I'm sure not consistent enough for any of your liking out there as well. Guest lines are open as well. I will also share why I think Todd Monken is taking unfair heat in terms of last night's analysis, and a whole lot more. Like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership today. I hope you guys are having a fantastic holiday. Right now, and of course, the one and only Black Friday NFL game is underway as we speak between Philadelphia and Chicago. Bears up early in that one. Doesn't have anything to do with what you're looking at right now with the AFC playoff picture. And right now, if the postseason were to begin today, Patriots would be the top overall seed, earning that first-round bye. Denver would be the 2 seed. Indianapolis would be the 3 seed. And Pittsburgh, now back in the driver's seat for the moment, as the 4 seed, right now atop the AFC North by a half game. They're 6-5. They'll play the Buffalo Bills at their place at Acrisure coming up on Sunday. Big AFC playoff picture implications, of course. Your 3 wildcard teams right now would be the Chargers and Jaguars and Bills, all of whom are 7-4 going into the weekend. Again, the Bills have the Steelers on the road, and the Texans, who find themselves in the hunt right now as well at 6-5, have the Colts. Kansas City and the Ravens, both 6-6. Miami, 4-7. Cincinnati, 4-8. Cleveland, 3-8. And how about that? If that doesn't speak to how wide open this AFC playoff picture is right now, you've got 3 teams that are considerably under 500 that are considered to be in the hunt. It's wide open, guys. But at the same time, you have got to start trusting your eyes with this Ravens team that, entering yesterday, yes, was winners of 5 straight games. Yes, had been getting really reliable, significantly improved defense for weeks on end, dating back to week 6. Yes, was turning the football over effectively, meaning creating turnovers, not coughing up the football as they did last night. We'll get to that. And really playing effectively on special teams. I get all that. But what happened throughout that favorable stretch? And what was pretty much consistently happening throughout that month-long stretch? An inefficient, inconsistent, lackluster offensive display of football, week in and week out. And what did we see last night? The cumulative effect, the results of a cumulative effect. And I'm not just talking about Lamar Jackson's physical limitations at this moment. It's got Ryan Clark saying this, something that I said over a month ago.
Are cooked. And I know people are going to say that they could still win the AFC North. I wish this could be like Hunger Games and the Kansas City Chiefs could be a tribute for them and we could give them their spot. Because when you watch the Baltimore Ravens play, and even though they've been on this winning streak, this is what they look like. Now, it hasn't been the turnovers, but there's no chemistry between Lamar and his wide receivers. Offensively, they aren't running the football at a clip that we're normally seeing from them. And Lamar Jackson, until last night, wasn't even using his legs. This team hasn't played great offense since the Buffalo Bills game, which they lost that game as well.
Yeah.
And so
that was week one.
And then what happened, right? Zach Orr fixed the defense by acquiring Aloy Gilman and moving Kyle Hamilton close to the line. People are figuring out that at this moment, too. This isn't the team that we thought they were. At the beginning of the season, they have the best roster. This is the team to beat. They are not executing and playing like it. They will be one and done in the playoffs, and that's if they make it in a terrible AFC North.
The AFC North is terrible, but really all that matters is find a way to get in, right? Get in. And we'll have those one and done discussions at another point in time in terms of predicting whether or not that might be the case. It was 2 and done last year, beating Pittsburgh. Excuse me, 1 and done. Well, no, it was. Well, it's funny. How do you define 1 and done? Like you're in the playoffs and you win one game and then you're bounced. That's 1 and done, or is it you get one playoff game and you lose? I guess that could be considered 1 and done as well. What is the definition of 1 done? Is it the former or the latter of those two? Genuinely curious now that I think about that in real time. Anyway, you heard from Luke says 1 and done is getting a game and losing. Okay. Well, if that's the case, they weren't 1 and done last year. I guess they were 2 and done because they won one, played in another, and lost, of course, as we know in the divisional round. And Mike says it's the same damn thing. It does feel like the same damn thing. Anyway, guest lines are hot right now. I'm going to get to you guys in just a bit. Appreciate you for being with me. Richard, Will, Andrew, lots of commentary today, lots of reaction. Emotions are running high. And Ryan Clark says this team is cooked. This team hasn't played great defense since the Buffalo Bills game. Excuse me, great offense. They didn't play good defense in the fourth quarter that day. I know that. This team hasn't played great offense since the Buffalo Bills game. I thought the second half in Miami was a decent display of offensive football. Zach Orr fixed, air quoting, fixed the defense by acquiring Alohi Gilman and moving Kyle Hamilton close to the line of scrimmage. But people are figuring that out at the moment, too. This team isn't the team we thought they were. They will be 1 and done in the playoffs, and that's if they make it in a terrible AFC North. Will they make it? I don't know. But what I do know is everything and more hinges on Lamar Jackson. And I'm not just talking about some of how he's navigating his physical limitations, having at least 4 known ailments, lower body ailments at that, the hamstring, the knee, the ankle. This week it was the toe. That's one part of it. The other component is what's now becoming a disturbing trend and a multi-week disturbing trend that really dates back almost the entire month of November, as Josh Tolentino from the Baltimore Sun tallied up here. Guys, Lamar is not playing Lamar football. He's got 3 fumbles, 2 of which were lost, 3 interceptions, just 1 passing touchdown, and no rushing touchdowns this month. Now, again, they were winning games up until yesterday, but to me, this felt like a long time coming. And I think that's what I was trying to articulate going into what I felt like was a fresh slate where we were really going to learn a lot about this team in the closing 6 weeks after a 5-week soft, favorable, whatever you want to call it, stretch that included either non-playoff teams or winnable games. There were a lot of winnable games where the Ravens, one, didn't look like the Ravens. You can call it playing down to your competition all you want. The Ravens weren't playing good, efficient, explosive, offensive football, and that's been the case more often than not throughout the 2025 season to date. Some of that has been due to Lamar Jackson's unavailability. Recently, it's been about Lamar Jackson's inconsistency. And obviously, we know that he missed 3 games, which put them in a major bind at the quarterback position on top of that. So, as you see right now in the poll, and I'm about to ask everybody in the live chat right now. Is this fixable? Can Lamar successfully dig himself out of perhaps what is the most not only sustained rut, but significant rut of his 8-year career in this league as a starter? The early poll results, just 38 total votes so far, so let's see if we can get that number north. Will Lamar be able to successfully dig himself out of this current rut? Sarah and I had a good back and forth on that on the vault, and I'm standing tall on what I felt like was my initial gut reaction. And now after processing it more, I can't have more than out of a 10 point ranking. I can't have more than like a middle of the road 5 out of 10 level of confidence that he will. It's not because I don't want to give Lamar the benefit of doubt. It's not because I don't think he's capable. It's not because I'm a hater. It's simply because of what I've watched now for a pretty hefty sample size. And it's a perfect storm related to this offense. It's a lackluster offensive line that's, by the way, been average, if not above average, over the last 2 weeks, and is not the reason why they lost last night. Todd Monken is not the reason why this team lost last night. Let me be clear on those two areas. Lamar Jackson and the 5 turnovers, he wasn't directly responsible for every single one of them, but 5 turnovers, a phantom OPI, and several misfires with time and clean pockets from Lamar are the reason why they lost that game last night. Now, I didn't predict a 30-28 Bengals win thinking that they would turn over the football 5 times. I thought to myself, I think that they're more of a pretender right now, coming off a very favorable 5-game winning streak against favorable opponents. I thought that they were more of a pretender than a contender. And I also felt like the Bengals, with their backs against the wall and a shot in the arm that is getting your franchise quarterback, who rushed, I don't know if it's rushed is the right word, but who busted his butt to get back from a turf toe procedure, to be available, and now you got to rip off 6 straight to even give yourself a chance to make the postseason. I felt like they had more of an urgency and more of a level to play for because they had to have it last night. Crazy enough, the Ravens didn't necessarily have to have it the way Cincinnati did last night, and perhaps that was a factor in the ultimate outcome. So I was predicting more along the lines of, hey, I get it. DVOA-wise, the Bengals are tracking to potentially be the worst from a metric and analysis and overall performance and efficiency standpoint, the worst defense of all time. But sometimes something's got to give, particularly when it comes to the AFC North Division. And not to mention that Cincinnati's defense had played serviceable or average the 2 weeks leading into this Thursday night game last night. So there was a lot, not to mention knowing that I had my doubts about where Lamar was physically. Now I think I have my doubts about this Lamar Jackson rut. I think he's very capable of pulling himself out of it. But will everything else around him from an offensive side of things, which there's a whole list, will those come around as they need to form that perfect marriage? I have my questions. And that's why right now, if you're to ask me, will Lamar successfully dig himself out of his current rut? For me, it's a no. And a lot of that doesn't just have to do with him. Like, I'm in wait and see mode right now on a number of levels when it comes to evaluating the state of this Ravens offense. What say you guys? Let's open up the guest lines. And it's as you came in, gentlemen. 60 seconds on the clock. Help me out. Give your thoughts. Will Lamar successfully dig himself out of what's probably, is this the most significant rut of his career? I think it might be. By the way, Mark Andrews still backing his guy post game.
Yeah, I got no complaints, man. He's our guy, and full trust. And man, it's football's the way of life, man. Sometimes bad things happen. We learn to rebound, grow, learn, and not long ago we were 1-5. We're 6-6. We're going to be all right. We just got to keep fighting, keep clawing, keep being humble, being thankful, and I'm certainly thankful for him.
He says and does all the right things. What about this right here before we go to the guest lines? Take a look at Mark, bottom of the screen, as he just releases from that block. And, man, it would have been an easy check down conversion there from Lamar. Instead, he was targeting or intending to throw this in Zay Flowers' direction. Instead, it sails over Zay Flowers. And watch Mark's reaction, 89 right there, wide open with all kinds of daylight in front of him. And Lamar doesn't even look his way. An indication of perhaps the way that he's seeing the field right now. An indication of perhaps where he is, not just physically, but mentally. Here's another angle. Again, Mark is wide open right there and instead sails it over Zay Flowers' head. These are the layups, if you will, that we are not used to seeing Lamar not convert on. And for that, this feels like uncharted waters in a sense. Andrew, let's get you in here. Then Richard, then Will. Guest lines are officially open. Happy Black Friday. Happy Thanksgiving. College football underway. How about the Ole Miss game? That was insane. Like the brawl, the Lane Kiffin halftime interview, the post-game interview. Is he staying or leaving? College football is insane. And it would be the most Lane Kiffin thing ever, though, if he stays. Right after all of this, weeks and weeks and weeks of uncertainty. Anyway, 60 seconds on the clock for you gentlemen. Let's get it. Andrew, will Lamar dig himself out of this rut? Where are your confidence levels, brother? Good to see you, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, man. Hope you got some good time with the family yesterday.
I did not, but it's okay because it's coming next month for Christmas. I hope you did as well.
Yeah, man. Personally, for me, yesterday's game felt like the Steelers game last year where they weren't hitting on all the passes and Bateman had the sunshine in his face. Just felt like one of those games where everything wasn't going in their way. And you just have to look at the team and look at the emotional turmoil. The Zay Flowers drop last AFC Championship game, the likely drop in this game. And it's just like enough is enough. And like, I feel like the likely drop was the straw that broke the camel's back and then Lamar started fumbling. I think it's just the whole team dynamic and psyche right now. And my confidence is, I would say, pretty mid. I mean, they have a favorable schedule and the division's still in their hands, but I think it's just the nature of the
What's
emotional
favorable about
turmoil.
sorry to interrupt. What's the favorable part about their closing stretch?
That they have divisional games available to them.
Right.
They have opportunities.
That's about the only thing that's favorable is that it's wide open, given that you haven't even played Pittsburgh yet. You got to go to Cincinnati and whatnot. But I guess what I mean is like from a degree of difficulty standpoint, there's nothing favorable about the next month, you know?
The favorable portion is that there's a chance. But
I got you.
That's just where my head's at. I just think the emotional turmoil this team has been through with all these drops, and I think it just creates a cascade of a series of events where they all kind of feed off of one thing, and then they think they all have to make the next play to win the game, and then they start fumbling, and but that's just where my head's at right now.
All right, brother. Happy Thanksgiving, man. Appreciate you.
Good to see you.
You too, man. Enjoy the rest of the weekend and whatnot. Thanks for the call. Guest lines are open. Curtis Harris wants to know why it's a Lamar thing when it's a team sport and he caps team. Curtis, happy Thanksgiving to you. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, this is built around Lamar and Ryan Clark, ESPN analyst, not holding back, as you see on the screen, my transcription from some of his commentary. But there's a lot more than just Lamar when it comes to, first of all, why I don't have crazy levels of confidence gauging right now for their ability to not only dig themselves out of their offensive rut that they're in, led by Lamar, but let me be clear. It starts and ends with Lamar. Everything hinges on not only Lamar Jackson's physical ability, but now perhaps a mental block that he's going to have to work his way through, knowing that some of the inaccuracy, some of the discomfort that perhaps he's playing and managing through, given these lower body injuries that are taking a toll, and given, as Andrew says, the optimistic view there is that they control their own destiny, having 3 more AFC North games in front of them. But I would also contend that one, in no way are any of those games, and I'm not saying Andrew was saying this, but none of them are guaranteed. And hey, by the way, not to mention, when you got to go to Green Bay and play Micah Parsons in a frozen tundra 2 days after Christmas, and oh, by the way, host New England the following week in the second to last regular season game before you then go to Pittsburgh in the regular season finale, that's a tall task. So nobody's saying it's a Lamar thing. Of course, it's a team sport. But this all revolves around Lamar Jackson, and that's no different than any other franchise quarterback league-wide. The one key difference, though, does any team truly rely on their franchise quarterback to the degree, the desperate degree, that the Ravens do? Probably a conversation for another time, but maybe there's an argument to be made there. Captain writes, crazy to not give him the benefit. 4 games don't overshadow 8 years. I think Lamar will be back on track. Plus, he looks healthier yesterday. And once again, 3 touchdowns were wiped out. I'm just seeing it differently. Well, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I like some of those areas that you're mentioning right now, Captain. But do you truly believe that despite this pass protection or average display of offensive line play over the last 2 weeks, do you think that's sustainable? Do you think Rashad Bateman disappearing, and maybe perhaps it has a lot to do with where he's at physically right now, dealing with the discomfort and I'm sure managing his own level of pain with that high ankle sprain? Do you think, poof, he's just going to automatically get back to the Rashad of last year? Do you think that Isaiah Likely, all of a sudden, who's having a nightmarish contract year, both with ball security, butterfingers at times, and the lack of involvement, separation, so on and so forth. Do you think that all of a sudden he's just going to show up and light the world on fire over the next month? Maybe you do. Maybe you think some of these things are going to come to fruition. If that's the case, hey, great. Like, you're entitled, obviously, to your level of optimism. I appreciate the super chat. I'm just not there right now, which is why when we're having the gauging confidence levels of where this team is right now, I can't go more than a 5 out of 10 that Lamar is going to be able to effectively dig himself out of this rut. 10-day mini bye will help. And then you go face the Steelers at home. You host them. And then you go and play Cincinnati. 2 division games right in a row. And then after that, you got to go see New England. And then you got to go to Green Bay. And then you got to see Pittsburgh yet again. Rashad Bateman was targeted once. So you're right, Dre. He's a non-factor. It's unfortunate because that hurts them in the red zone. That hurts them in the intermediate passing game. That hurts them really the way they want to play offensive football. That hurts when Seven's not creating separation, when Seven's not truly out there at his full physical capacity. That hurts. Major Media Channel says, since you are a media guy, Bobby, let us in on the secret. Why do y'all hate or so critical on Lamar? Way more than other quarterbacks. Major, happy Thanksgiving, brother. Happy Black Friday. I can't take your comment seriously. Why do y'all hate or so critical on Lamar? Was I one of the ones that went on Twitter within the last 24 hours, as some did, whether it was in the media or the former player community, and essentially called Lamar a better version of Michael Vick, but with better PR? I saw that pop up in my timeline. I saw some ridiculously, here it is right here, from, I don't even know this guy's name. Is it Brighton Fehoko? I think he played in the NFL. Looks like he won a national championship with LSU. Is it Braden or Brighton? Let's go with Braden Fehoko. He says, Ravens will never win a Super Bowl behind Lamar. The individual regular season accolades will never equate to winning football in the playoffs. He's Michael Vick with better PR. Have I gotten on there and said something so outlandish, something so unfounded, something so hyperbolic? Have I gotten on here? Major, don't do it to me. I'm running on limited sleep on that turnaround for primetime. Don't do it to me today. And if you do, you got to call your ass in. I feel like every single time you say something like this that is so baseless, that is so unfounded, you never call in. Pick up the goddamn line that I have pinned in my live chat right now as I process what you're commenting on and getting more pissed off about it, and call in. And let's have a conversation face-to-face on it. And tell me why you think I'm one of those media members. Come on now, Major. It's Black Friday. Let's run it. Solo Dolo, I know you want that. Evan wants to see it. Matter of fact, I might just sit here and wait for you to call in, Major, because you've been running that bullshit for a while now. And Major, how about this? Maybe until you call in, I'll start talking about Joe Burrow's second half, because I know that'll really get under your skin. Because Joe had some rust to work through in the first half, playing his first game since week 2. Joe had a lot of rust. Both quarterbacks, quite frankly, looked rusty in that first half. But you want to know what Burrow does? He's got an elite awareness in the pocket. I'm giving you a lot of analysis right now on Joe Burrow until your ass calls in. I'm telling you right now, I know you don't want it. And that's why I'm going to continue to wait for you. There's a lot of people in the waiting room right now. They're going to be pissed off because of you, Major Media. Because now they're getting pushed aside because your sorry ass won't call in on Black Friday. Let's go, Major. I'm telling you, now that I think about it more and more, you've been running this shit for weeks, if not months. We'll wait all day. Joe Burrow was exceptional in the second half. His ball placement on that 40-plus yard conversion with Jamar Chase, it was great coverage by Marlon Humphrey. Better ball placement, great hands by Jamar. Tanner Hudson, their former scout team tight end, unbelievable one-handed grab in the right-hand side of the end zone. Phenomenal coverage by Kyle Hamilton. Better ball placement, better execution by Tanner Hudson. He says, I don't have a phone. Major Media. This is the shit that I needed today. I needed that turnaround right now. I needed to Celsius doesn't do anything for me the day after primetime games, by the way. He says he doesn't have a phone and then goes and quotes me Bobby Bengals. I got his ass up against a wall right now, and he doesn't know what to do with it. Shout out Steve Loop. He's loving it. He's throwing in laughy emojis. I wish we would have seen more of Tyler last night. It just wasn't that kind of game. The Ravens weren't giving anybody a chance offensively to kick field goals, much less score touchdowns. Major. Ha! Hey, Major, you're getting walked on right now, baby. Let's go. I knew you'd fold. Wes Hall says, I can't do this blind, baseless optimism some fans have right now with this offense. This is who they are. They haven't proved otherwise since months ago. Ronnie Stanley, post-game. Major, keep thinking about it. Keep thinking about it.
Especially early on, we got Derek going, rushed for a touchdown early on. I think we just got to keep it going and keep the momentum going, and we make sure that's our identity, and we have to make it work.
I guess, Ronnie, when you say make sure, is there a conversation on the sideline? Cause, for example, after Derek's touchdown run, I think with 6.5 minutes left in the first quarter, he had 2 touches in the rest of the half. Do you guys want to? Are there instances where you guys can encourage coaches, hey, can we go back to this? Or?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely part of it is the collaboration part and wanting to get back to the run, and that's something that we encourage the coaches to do when we come back to the sideline, and but we're still gonna go out there and run whatever play is called. Yeah, no, it's very frustrating, especially been around football for a little bit, played for a while, and just understanding the type of personnel we have, the type of people we have, and that's just not our standard, especially speaking for the offense. Thought the defense did a great job, but offensively, that's not our standard.
Some subtle comments there, but perhaps direct comments at the Ravens game plan. A lot have been made of those from Ronnie Stanley post-game yesterday. He said, quote, I thought the run game, especially early on, we got going. We just got to keep the momentum going, and we make sure that's our identity, and we have to make it work. The collaboration part and wanting to get back to the run, that's something we encourage the coaches to do when we come back to the sideline, but we're still going to go out there and run whatever play is called. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, despite Major Media, I'm sure he's going to have a real problem with this in terms of, I know it's going to feel like we're not coddling him today. And I know Major needs to be coddled in life, right? Says he doesn't have a phone. I still can't get over that. By the way, Joseph Cook comes in and says, LMAO, upstate drinking that tough guy juice. He ain't one of us. Joseph, tell me you're one of me, baby, and call in right now using that access line. I got time. I got plenty of time this late afternoon. I promise you that. Joseph, talk to me. Steve says, great in-flight entertainment. Safe travels back to Arizona. Steve, is that where you're off to? Here's why I can't get behind the criticism of Todd Monken, and it's pretty obvious and pretty clear to me. And I'm not saying this was a direct call out from Ronnie Stanley either. I think this was constructive post-game commentary from one of the longest tenured Ravens. And you want to know why I can't throw Todd Monken under the bus? Here's why. Again, I think it's about as simple as it gets. We're not even having this conversation, not even remotely having this conversation today, if not for what? 5 turnovers. A phantom OPI on Zay Flowers that wiped a touchdown, wiped 6 off the board, and several, I'd say between 3 and 5, blatant misfires from Lamar Jackson with clean, timely pockets. This conversation is not even being had. So I get it. Overall, the full body of work going back to the AFC Championship game, and there have been other times throughout Todd Monken's tenure as the offensive play caller where he's abandoned the run. And it's led you to believe why? Why do they leave their identity? Why do they abandon their identity? Last night was not one of those games. Just getting caught up on the live chat and I'm laughing my ass off. I'm scoffing my ass off at Major Media. I don't know what generation you are, Major. Whatever generation you're tainting your generation. That's what you're doing. Have a backbone and call in. Captain Hard says, I've seen an offense move the ball better. Lamar moved and created more. I've seen a better offensive line yesterday than the previous 3 games, correct? I've seen a lot of good. The turnovers just overshadow everything. That's fair. I did think Lamar was mobile. I actually like, people were criticizing him for sliding. I like that he slid in that opening quarter, wasn't it? First quarter, second quarter, somewhere there in the first half. I like that. There's nothing about Lamar's numbers that stick out as MVP-like or Lamar standard, but there was a lot to like. But there was probably more poor play, substandard play that not only trumps what he did well, but maybe outnumbers it too. I thought he put Tez Walker in a position for success with the deep ball. Hit Zay Flowers on the money. I'm just looking at my notes right now because I got primetime mush brain. Well, you know what the overarching theme over all of this is, the fact that he was willing and able. He showed a willingness and an ability to run. And maybe that was most encouraging out of everything. Thanks, Captain. Richard says, where's the guest lines? Do I not have it pinned as a comment? I always have it pinned as a comment. Yeah, it's pinned in the live chat, Richard. Call in, brother, man. Let me just get a quick little update on the live chat. But before I do, McGinnis kind of co-signed what I'm thinking right now by quote tweeting a clip from Derrick Henry, which I might as well play that clip before I give you that commentary.
That execution's been kind of the word. Do you feel like this is a team that can find that at this point in the season?
I'm not going to tell you no. I feel like we can just have confidence in my team. I won't never say no that I don't think we'll be able to get over the hump.
Jerry, there were 22 minutes left in the half after your touchdown, and you only got 2 more touches. Do you want more touches naturally?
I'm going to take advantage of opportunities I get. I'm not one to cry in the media or complain. Whatever I get, try to take advantage of it.
What can you take away from this game against an AFC North opponent into next week with the Steelers coming up?
We have to be better. We were not the team we need to be today to win. They were the better team. Go back and watch the film, fix what we need to fix, and come back ready to go for Pittsburgh next time.
All right, King Henry, irritated post-game as you suspect that he might have been after last night's outcome. And let's be honest, he's quite frankly, I'm sure he's got to be at wit's end having to answer the same questions. He's a consummate professional, always makes himself available. It's hard to ask about execution or lack thereof in different ways every single week, not to mention twice within a 5-day period. And that's what some of those beat reporters in a post-game locker room are tasked with. I do not envy them. I've been in their shoes before, and it's difficult. So all power to them. But clearly Derek is, yes, continuing to say and do all the right things, but it's got to be wearing on him. And Gordon McGinnis noting here something related to Derrick Henry's usage, which is under fire from a Todd Monken standpoint. I really do believe that it's only a topic point because of the ultimate outcome and maybe because of this trend in the past when it comes to going away from the run, particularly in high leverage moments and a high leverage game like was the Ravens-Chiefs AFC Championship game. That was not the issue last night. This was simple player execution or lack thereof. Straight up, I'll say that till the cows come home. Gordon McGinnis agrees. The Ravens are one of the most run-heavy teams in the league in terms of pass rate over expectation, and Henry is pretty much at the same rushing share through 12 weeks as he was last year. This is a complete non-issue, in my opinion. We are in agreement on that. Major, I have people waiting in the guest line, and your sorry ass is nowhere to be found. I mean, it's a pathetic display of backbone or lack thereof. You got a backbone? God damn. Steve is from Dallas. Okay, the Loops live in Dallas. I got you. So safe travels back to Dallas, Steve. I forgot that Tyler went to school in Arizona. I knew that he went to school in Arizona. I just couldn't remember where you guys were originally from. I almost feel like this is a little bit harsh, but I almost feel like blocking major media. Like this is that level, even though he hasn't done anything egregious that breaks conduct. I almost feel like not having that. I almost don't know if I want a subscriber with that little backbone. Is that harsh? Like I want people to have moxie. They're gonna shit talk the hell out of me like David Cure and come on here, or like Ryan did that one time, and stand tall on what they believe in. Not somebody's gonna hide in the shadows. Not somebody that's gonna run out of the burning building and not go back in for people that need help in there. I'm actually disgusted by this. I might consider blocking his ass. The first ever non-conduct breaching block. Is that fair? Young Nation. And then, right, Evan, and then all of a sudden, right, you throw him under the lights and they get bright and he gone. He gone. Where you at, Major? I smell a little boy. To the guest lines we go. Oh, look at Mr. Will, huh? Look at what arrived at that college semester, baby. What's going on, brother man?
Nothing much. I'm happy to got this. I might make a little Instagram story here in a minute, tag you in it, just grateful to have that. And, you did the sniff thing. It smells like bitch in here, I will say. But I will say, when we're talking about sports now, all right, this is literally the first time I've ever seen Lamar do this in his career. I've watched him since he was a freshman at Louisville, because I'm born and raised in Louisville. I've been a Louisville fan since I was a child. And yes, there's speculations about Baltimore fandom and all, but this is the first time Lamar has done that. I think it's a little too late for that, for him to come back. But then again, the stretch, I think we can play better against the Bengals next time around. We play the Steelers, which that's always going to be a close one. And then with the Patriots and Packers, I don't know. But, I mean, I had a whole bunch of people bitching to me and my stuff, being like, you're wrong, because I was going off your topic or whatever, just being like, hey, just like, this is what I think about Lamar. I don't know. And I got people bitching at me. And then now here, I'm just like, listen, Lamar is not himself. I mean, I got some confidence, but at the same time, this is not the Lamar we've seen over the years.
Great seeing you, brother. Love the merch, and I hope you and yours had an awesome Thanksgiving. We'll do it again soon, my man.
Of course. Thank you.
Willie. Wow, he took it a step further. He called him a bitch. Did you guys hear that? And all of a sudden, and if you could, guys, if you're in the live chat, if you could help me out and tag at Mage Media Channel. I think he's exited stage left. Left for lowly. He gone. That's right, Solo Dolo. Tag his ass. And Joseph Cook, you better watch your ass too. I'm going to be tagging you pretty soon here as well if you don't call in as well. Waiting room's cooking. Appreciate you guys for being with me. Ravens 5-game win streak snapped last night against the Bengals. Cincinnati had to have it. Joe Burrow returned. Talked about going up against Kyle Hamilton and fitting that touchdown in the right-hand side of the end zone for tight end Tanner Hudson.
And like I said, doubling Jamar sometimes, not doubling him sometimes. But we needed somebody to make a play, and Tanner made that play on, in my opinion, one of the best safety in the league, who just continuously makes play after play. And that one really opened the floodgates. So credit to Tanner for that one.
Kyle Hamilton, referred to as the best safety in the league. I don't think that's really to be argued at this point. Joe played a clean game of football. Bengals really played clean football aside from Travis Jones there in garbage time, or close, damn near garbage time there. Punching the football out, recovering it. I thought Burrow was rusty at times in the first half. But if there's one thing that he is from a passing standpoint, and by the way, he's got some sneaky mobility. I thought he showed a little bit of mobility last night. And what they were doing on the sideline to change out and give him as much flexibility and comfort in the aftermath of that turf toe procedure was impressive. I was really impressed. I was also impressed with Cheeto Awuzie. Cheeto's been a great pickup for this team in the secondary. It hurt losing Nate Wiggins, of course, at halftime, who left with a foot injury. John Harbaugh did not say that it was something serious moving forward, much less a season-ending procedure or a season-ending setback. But losing Nate hurts. But the Ravens got a lot from Cheeto, particularly 2 key pass breakups, one of which was on third down against Jamar Chase. Just an exceptional play. The body control, the focus, and the technical savvy at the catch point. I'm really impressed with number 3 out there. His former teammate Jamar Chase spoke about him postgame.
Oh, man. I love Cheeto, bro. Me and Cheeto go way back. He's been working with me since my rookie year, so it's always nothing but love and competitiveness when I'm going against Cheeto, yeah.
Where you guys were going at it?
We weren't going at it. He just held me on one of the plays. I didn't get the flag. And I'm like, Cheeto, you held me. But he like, how? So, that's my guy, though.
They're going to need Cheeto, man, down the stretch here, especially if Nate's going to miss this Pittsburgh game coming up in 10 days. That would be a real bummer. Ravens are going to need everything. They have to throw the whole entire kitchen sink in terms of stopping DK Metcalf. Aaron Rodgers, by the way, will start this coming weekend, week 13, after, of course, missing one? I think he's missed 1 game so far with that non-throwing hand, so left wrist fracture of some sort. So he'll play against Buffalo. CJ Stroud will play for Houston against Indianapolis, as will Daniel Jones, who's been banged up in recent weeks. So that'll be something to watch. And really, look, the Ravens have plenty of challenges ahead of them in terms of the degree of difficulty with what's left on their schedule. Yes, the optimistic angle is everything's there for the taking. They can control their own destiny, knowing that they still have 3 more in-division games left on their schedule. But nothing's guaranteed with those games. Pittsburgh, you already know, is going to be a coin flip if you ask me. There's no telling where Cincinnati will be in 2 weeks' time at their place, with a lot to play for now that Burrow's back in the lineup. And we know what Green Bay, I think Green Bay is going to have a darn good chance alongside the Rams and Philadelphia to be the NFC representative in this year's Super Bowl. And we'll see how New England handles its closing stretch with December football right around the corner. And Mike Vrabel, come on, Mike Vrabel's got to be a top 5, top 7 head coach in this league, right? With what he's done in New England. Come on, they are way ahead of schedule. It's exceptional what they're doing. Back to the guest lines. Jules rocking his vault hat, looking clean on this Black Friday. Azrael Pet Nation. I don't know what this name is, but I'm going to call you AZ, or how about Ass? I'll call you Ass for now. AZ, short for Ass. Bobby Steelers ain't shit. You were also talking shit earlier on, Az, weren't you? All right, I won't call you Ass. I'll call you Az. So you think the Steelers ain't shit, huh? Ravens split the regular season series with them. They dominated them in the wild card round, courtesy of Derrick Henry and a rushing attack that Pittsburgh had no answer for. But take off the goggles, baby. Come on now, Az. Maybe Jules is going to have some of that in his life this weekend. Good to see you, brother. Happy Thanksgiving, my man. What's going on?
You a damn fool, Bob. That's what you missing. Oh, man. I needed that after yesterday. The Ravens kind of ruined my Thanksgiving. You know, it was pretty good, but I don't know. Leading up to that game, I felt a little indifferent about it. I felt like we was probably going to win, but I didn't feel too confident about it for some reason. And indeed, I was right. I don't know what's going on. Well, I know what's going on. We all know what's going on with Lamar. I mean, I never seen him look this bad. I mean, it's so ridiculously like his worst like type of playing that he's ever played. So I don't know how he's going to get himself together and get himself back to where he was last year. I mean, because if he doesn't go, this thing doesn't work with us. It all depends on him at this point. And then you talk about Nate Wiggins being out. That's a huge problem if he's out for the Steelers game and hopefully not the Cincinnati game, because I mean, Awuzie is basically our best corner because Marlon, he's playing with basically 3 fingers right now, and he's not really dependable in coverage wise. He'll like maybe force a turnover here and there, but coverage wise, he's not reliable anymore. And the pass rush was really non-existent last night. I mean, that's just been a problem all year. But I don't know what this team is going to look like going forward. They definitely need to beat Pittsburgh next week. It's just all hands on deck, like you said. Their season is on life support. Like it's slowly beeping away right now. It's
Good
just
seeing
really
you,
bad.
brother. Enjoy the weekend, my man. Later, Joel. And man, I haven't even talked about that enough, right, yet in terms of the pass rush or lack thereof, and whether or not over that favorable stretch, right, where particularly since the deadline earlier this month when they brought in Draymond and some of the juice that he's picked up right where he left off in Tennessee, that's been great. But was that going to slowly start to dwindle once the lights got bright? And I'm not saying that Draymond isn't capable of turning it on here in the closing stretch. I'm just saying the lack of pass rush has come back to bite this team in the postseason on an annual basis for years. And I wonder if that's going to happen again moving forward. As I'm not done with you. Matter of fact, will you do what Major couldn't and call in? We'll give you 120 seconds to figure it out. Richard, you ready to roll then, Manny? Guest lines are open. What's up, Richard? Happy Thanksgiving, brother. What you got for me?
Hey, Bobby. I'm probably going to piss off a lot of people again. I'll tell you that. I mean, I'll say this. The Ravens' success for the rest of the year is going to be live and die by the hands of Lamar. My temperature for him is at a 6. And the only reason it's at a 6 and not a 5 is because Emory Jones went in. And if you look at the film that Sipu Tally did, he actually looked pretty well. He played better than Voorhees. Now, the funny thing is that damn near every single clip that he had, the right side was collapsing. So right now, at least we have half of a functional O-line. instead of an entirely unfunctional O-line. Now, what I would say is that Lamar, his internal clock's fucked up. He's seeing ghosts out there, in my opinion, and I think that's why he's throwing balls out there when clearly, Mark Andrews was wide open, begging for the ball, not getting it. I think his internal clock has been fucked up by this O-line. And so right now he's trying to, he doesn't know when he's going to get hit. So even when he has a clean pocket, he acts like he doesn't. And he has to do that because he's still coming back from injury. He's not 100% yet. And so one thing that I would like to see in order for me to be able to start to change the way I look at this team, number one, I need to see Lamar not throw his helmet on the ground when shit doesn't go his way. Like he needs to take that fire and blow a fucking light under the team. He needs to stop putting that shit on his fucking helmet. That's some baby bullshit. I'm sorry.
Let's be honest. We've seen that throughout much of this year.
It's frustrating because at the end of the day, what he does, he is the commander general on the team.
Yeah.
What happens to the rest of the team is going to be based on the way that he is able to keep poise. If he can't keep poise, no one else will. You think Harbaugh is going to keep poise? He doesn't keep poise. Also about Major, and the other guy, addressing them. Backbone of a jellyfish. You don't want to have that. Don't be a motherfucking invertebrate. Get your ass on here and talk.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can these guys stand up, please? And if they can't physically, by the way, then we'll have that conversation. And that's obviously
put your face in front of the camera. That's what I mean.
Just face the music.
Say what you're gonna say. Say what you're gonna say. Shit on all of us. We're all feeling it right now after getting our asses handed to us by the Bengals. We're kick us while we're down. It's good, but go ahead and fucking do it.
Here's the funny part. If he comes on here, any of them, as Major, you name it, and they say what they say in the live chat, people think that I'm going to erupt on them. That's actually not the case. We're going to have an awesome conversation, none of which will be raising the voice. Okay, maybe I'll be raising the voice, but it won't be personal. And that's the beauty of it. I think some of these people think that it's going to be like a slugfest, friggin' bloodshed everywhere. No, I love it. Like, let's do it. Just show that there's a backbone. Richard, great to see you, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep, happy Thanksgiving.
Later, brother. Guest lines are open. Manny's been waiting. Maurice is in his makeshift studio, looking like he's ready to go. Thank God he's not walking. The step count must be astronomical right now, matter of fact. His parents, or whoever you live with, Maurice, perhaps you have roommates. I don't know where you live or who you live with. But whoever you do live with, let's just hope there's no any creaks in the floor. All right? Because whoever's below you, I feel bad for him. Manny, who the hell's below you? Tell us your favorite position. Welcome back to the program, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving to you. You seem like a top guy to me. I don't know. Anyway, talk to me, brother. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Well, except the fucking coaching staff of the Ravens and the front office, because who got us in this position first? Why are we talking if Lamar is good or in a bad position? Who knew the offensive line was not up to snuff? Who had the task to get it up to snuff? I think we're just letting the front office and the coaching staff, especially Harbaugh, off the hook just because, Lamar fumbled 3 times. Isaiah likely that decided to extend the ball instead of having it on his chest and be carried on by the momentum to have a score. The phantom PI on say. So who knew this team was not up to snuff? Decided to do nothing about it on the deadline trade. Then John Harbaugh saying, "Oh, my players are not mature enough." I'm sorry, what? Who's responsible for getting them mature enough to play, to take accountability? That's your job. And if you're not willing to do your job, then what the fuck are you talking about? If you're not willing to take accountability of saying, hey, EDC, I don't have the pieces. You need to get me some pieces. I don't care if we have to trade draft picks for next year or for 2 years. You know what the Rams did? All in now. As Bisciotti once said in his interview, I want to win now. But this Bashad, if you're listening, is this win now? Because if this is win now, congratulations. Congratulations on this is your win now. That's
Good
it.
seeing you, brother.
All right.
Later, man. Have a good weekend. Look, Lamar held himself accountable last night. As Richard said, there was some in-game body language that certainly has been a trend at times when they've been behind the eight ball. No pun intended. And that obviously, you want that to clean up from an optic standpoint. Don't know how much of an actual effect that's having in game or an influence in game on his peers, on the overall offensive sideline vibe. I'm not here to measure that. But he did get up there last night and said, I got to be better. And John Harbaugh held himself accountable as well. Matter of fact, he took the blame. He shouldered the blame for all 5 turnovers. Not often something you hear from John in post-game settings. Maurice is stationary, which makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Just doesn't quite feel like the right vibe. But Mr. Stationary. You guys are absolute menaces right now in the live chat. You know that? Unbelievable. Maybe Maurice will tell us just how much of a menace he is after hours. But that could be a conversation for another day. We'll save that for an After Dark Discord segment. Maurice, what are your confidence levels right now? Will Lamar dig himself out of this rut in the closing 5 weeks? Talk to me, brother. Welcome to the program. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Well, I would love to say happy Thanksgiving, but the Ravens taking up the whole stadium. That's what pretty much ruined the vibe. But I hate to say it, but I don't really have a lot of confidence left in this Ravens offense. And there's also no telling if Lamar will be able to return to form by the time the postseason rolls around, if we make the postseason. Because at the end of the day, football is a team game, and you can't rely on your quarterback without the assistance of not only your offensive line, but also your receiving core. Now, I do have a quick comment about that questionable offensive pass interference call. That has to be the worst offensive pass interference call I have ever seen in quite some time. I was absolutely livid. And it's just the numbers for the game for Lamar Jackson is very concerning. It's like he's been sacked 3 times for 23 yards lost, and he finished with a quarterback rating of 65.4. It's like it's a relief to see, Ronnie Stanley take accountability for the team's struggles, and a very rare sight to see John Harbaugh also taking the bulk of the blame for the outcome of the game last night. But if they want to make it to the postseason, they have to continue ironing out the wrinkles within not only this offensive line, but this entire offense collectively. It's like their backs against the wall at this point. So they got to straighten it out sooner rather than later because time is winding down.
Good seeing you, man. Have a good rest of the weekend. Lighting is on 1. Stationary Maurice. Doesn't feel like the right Maurice, but we'll take it as it is. Guys, thanks for hanging out today. I'm going to go ahead and start the weekend off and pop over to see some family tomorrow morning after having to work this holiday, which, hey, it's all good. I feel like every single year since I got into this business, I've either worked both holidays or at least one of the holidays, mostly because everybody wants to see the Ravens play. Not the current state of this Ravens team, certainly not on the offensive side of the ball. But on paper, back in May when these schedules are released, you want the Ravens in primetime. You want the Ravens in standalone fashion. And right now they have got to do whatever it takes, beginning with their franchise quarterback, to dig themselves out of the current rut that they're in on the offensive side of the ball. Because quite frankly, while the pass rush at times was non-existent and disappeared at the rate that it's been there for weeks last night, look, this is a defense and a special teams unit that has been carrying this team for over a month now. And finally, it reared its, what's the right phrase that I wanted to kind of get to? It was boiling and boiling and boiling, right, over the last month on the offensive side of the ball. And it was being masked by the defense consistency and the special team standouts, right? And then all of a sudden it all burst last night. It was waiting and waiting and waiting to do so. And it came back to bite them last night against a team that was playing a lot more urgently, a lot more efficiently. and ultimately capitalized on turnover after turnover. Although Cincinnati didn't that, and that's what speaks to this Ravens defense. What's encouraging moving forward is that this Ravens offense gave them 5 different opportunities to cash in on turnovers. And the Bengals didn't do all that much until late when the dam finally broke. So those are my final thoughts. I think there is reason for optimism. I can't quite see through some of the clear obstacles that are standing between them and said optimism right now. But the bottom line is it is there for the taking. The AFC is wide the hell open, and there's going to be a lot of good games. Not a lot, but there will be at least 2 good games this weekend from an AFC perspective that you'll want to watch beginning on Sunday. It's Houston and Indianapolis, but the most important from a divisional standpoint is the Steelers and the Bills. That's in the 4 o'clock window coming up on Sunday. I'm looking forward to watching that. I'm looking forward to taking some time off before Sarah and I get back to it on Monday. Steve Loop, safe travels back to the Dallas area. I hope you guys enjoy leftovers. I hope you enjoy and safely travel whatever the rest of the weekend entails for you. I had a good time hanging out, and thanks for all of your support. Thanks to those of you who contributed via Super Chat donations. If you'd like to donate, I know a lot of you don't want to donate through the YouTube program and you want it to directly go to us. If that's the case, you can always do so through Venmo or Cash App. And as always, nothing is ever expected. Everything and anything is always, without question, appreciated. And the things that go a long way, which are free and should take seconds, liking the video, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, all of which helps our channels grow. Thank you, guys. Go join the Discord if you haven't already done so. It's a 24/7 hub for conversation surrounding Baltimore sports. And again, it is free to join at the moment. I'll drop that link into the live chat right now, and I'll catch up with you guys. Have an awesome weekend. As in major media, I hope you guys have the best weekends out of them all, and try and find those backbones while you're at it. I'll talk to you guys. I know mine's intact.